How much did I pay you for that commercial?
Look at this guy.
You want to go back to that one? This is the Dash 1, as I call it, the first prototype that had just been built, and we were having a get-together for the investors that had invested in it at that point in time. This is sort of my history, folks. That white car on the right is called the Banshee, and I was in charge of doing that at Pontiac in 1965. There are two of those that exist. This one is owned by Joe Bortz in Chicago, that some of you may know of some of his show cars. And in the back is Dash 1, as I call it, our first prototype. So that's kind of my history, from a sports car to a motorhome. Outside of Triad at that show we had for the investors. And that's Dash 1 again. As you see, there is a window in the bathroom. These are the same ones as you received. These were taken out in the field next to our house, and they're the same ones that you received a copy of today. Someday I hope that Dash 1 will look like this. This was a shot down the street at a friend's house who had a GMC motorhome. And one of the things I tried to do, since I always thought the GMC motorhome was attractive, was to proportion the window vertical dimension on our Vixen similar to the GMC, because I thought that was a very nice looking rig. This is coming back from a meeting we had in Lansing with the Michigan Treasury Department to try and get them to invest in Vixen, and we rented a Lacharo and took it over there, and we had the Vixen with us, and we had them parked out on the street, and people would come by and look at it, and all these people from Treasury would be listening to what their comments were, and they were very complimentary about the Vixen, and I thought that maybe Nina was around the corner handing out $5 bills. In any event, the Michigan Pension Fund did invest quite heavily in the Vixen project. This is Zora Duntov, the father of the Corvette for many, many years. And in this issue of Fox Prints, Doug has copied the words from a letter that Zora wrote. In trying to raise money, you often have to have some expert with due diligence on your product. And I had known Zora for quite a while, from the days at Pontiac when he probably helped sabotage that white sports car you saw, worried about his Corvette, to DeLorean days when he went out to the Southern California wind tunnel with me and did some DeLorean model aero testing. And Zora's a great guy, and he's unfortunately passed away. This was going to Pontiac, who built the plant for us, and we were trying to get them to raise money at that point in time. And I can't remember which kind of Winnebago that is behind us, but it sort of makes the point. Jobs for your community, Bob Dewey and Bill Collins. This is Mayor Holland, and you can see that I'm very delighted. I think he probably told us, yeah, we're going to help you guys. This is the master model that had to be put together. The clay model, was used to build Dash 1, but then when we were getting serious about production, we needed to do something a little more serious with perfectly surfaced panels. And so we built this very accurate model, and you can see all the reinforcement that goes inside a master model. And you use some very, very shiny black paint so that you can make sure that you can stand back and, with the help of fluorescent tubes and things above, you can really find out whether you've got all the surfaces perfected. This model was then used to create the female molds that were used in production to build the body parts. And you can see looking down there that you can get a pretty darn good idea whether it's a perfect surface or not. This is a shot looking at the plant site, and I don't know, I struggle with how to tell you what this meant to me, but before the plant site was even started, I used to come up here on this track and say to myself, is this thing really going to happen? They're going to build a plant for us there? So it's a hard thing for me to explain how I felt, but it was exciting. This is the plant as it's coming along, and it took place just below the Pontiac Silverdome. We could look across the street and see the Silverdome. We had a groundbreaking July 9th, 1984. And these are some shots from it. That's Governor Blanchard digging the first shovel. Mayor Holland on the left. Mayor Holland again saying good words, welcoming us to the community, hoping we'll hire a lot of his unemployed Pontiac people. Yeah, Governor Blanchard again. I don't know who this other guy was. I think he was a reporter, but I can't remember who it was. This is my family, Nina, and my daughter and 2 grandchildren who are now both married. Groundbreaking. A happy guy. These are just a couple quick shots of the plant. It was 125,000 square feet, so it was a good sized plant that Pontiac built. One of the things the only thing they made us change was to ensure that the height inside would be high enough to make a warehouse out of it if we ever went out of business. Well, that was a good decision on their part. This is dash 1 at what would be the back end of the plant. This is in January at the auto show. We had a get-together for all the key employees, and we had a dinner and really enjoyed the fact that we were going to be introducing the Vixen Motor Company's pride and joy at the Detroit Auto Show.
What year was that built?
That was in January of 1986. WJR, one of the radio stations there, used one for broadcasting. This is a shot in our parking lot at the plant, and you can see the Silverdome in the background. And those on the left is the original Dash 1 prototype with vertical headlights, and then the other 2 are numbers 2 and 3 prototypes. And you can see they both have bathroom windows also at that point in time. One of the reasons for putting the different headlamps in was to bring the slope of the hood down and get a little more crush space in case somebody was in an accident. They'd have a little better crush characteristics. There's one with Stan Greninger on the far right, our first dealer. And that was the letter, he's the guy that wrote the letter that Tom read earlier tonight. And he was the first Vixen dealer, and a real gentleman and a car dealer. I'm sure he made a lot of money at it, and he was both an Oldsmobile dealer and a Vixen dealer, and also had some other RVs. Great guy to have on board. One of the reasons that I felt that car dealers would be better is because they understood the financing that we wanted to use, and that was when we ship the vehicle, you pay for it, as opposed to a lot of the RV guys who have to end up financing all those trailers you see sitting in the RV places. So that was one of my reasons for going with the automobile dealers, and everybody said we were wrong, and maybe we were.